like that. Let's go ahead and add him in. Fagen. Tactical Genius. Tactic cards do not cost AP to play during the ground combat when he's in command. That is really helpful. It means that we can spend all the action points on whatever it is I want to do during my turn. And if I have tactic cards and he's in combat, he can still use them. He has Trickster 3, which makes him really annoying to fight, since he's able to run away instantly if he sees the enemy is far stronger than him. And the combat against him, all the strength of the enemy's attacks is reduced by 3. He strikes me as being annoying enough that even if I don't have Tactical Genius, any tactic cards, if I decide to eliminate the War Nests, I still want him around. Rylan. I can already see a big difference in that these heroes seem to be costing 3 points compared to the Empire of Man's 2-point generals. Ryle is a Military Genius 2. This hero adds +2 to the attack and defense of all units in an army or garrison under his command. Wow! It makes him basically an unstoppable force. He also costs 3 resources, human resources, to play, probably because he's really phenomenally good. Shirub, Trickster 2, pretty good, and Raider 2, also pretty good. And actually, since he has Trickster 2 and Raider 2, we don't actually need Tactical Genius then. We're going to go ahead and remove him, because I'm beginning to think I don't want the tactic cards for this. And instead, we'll add Shirub here. Oh, and to explain some other stuff about the heroes. They have wound points as well. This guy has 3. But they don't work like the heroes you might be familiar with in StarCraft or Warcraft or whatnot. They don't actually fight. If they're in combat, something has gone horrifically wrong, because this single guy is no match for like a battalion of tanks that are barreling down on him. He leads the armies by using his abilities to be a general, not his abilities necessary to be in combat. That said, he has wound points in case assassination attempts go at him. His command rate is the total number of other cards he's allowed to have in his army. So Slugpod can have 8, Riley can have 7, as can Shirub. Kithlfang can have 8. He's got Fate. Fate's kind of really complicated to explain, but I'll say the more Fate you have, the greater your chances are of going first, and it lets you re-roll dice that did not hit as many times as you want, as long as you have Fate to spend for each dice that you want to re-roll. So if you roll 4 dice and you want to re-roll 2 of them, you would spend 2 of your Fate points, and then you'd have 3 left. That's the way it works. There are special rules as to when you can actually do the re-roll. As an attacker, if you've hit your enemy, if you've done any damage to them whatsoever, you don't get the opportunity as the attacker to spend Fate points. So if the enemy has 8 hit points and you hit it for 1 damage, you can't take any Fate or tactic related actions that could let you do additional damage if you've hit them for that 1 point, because the enemy is going to accept that result. Narlax. Tactician 3, don't really particularly care about Tactician. In fact, I'm definitely going to remove the War Nest for this army. Pathfinder 2, that's pretty decent, and Leader 1 is pretty decent also. I'm going to pass on him at the moment because I'm not so sure that I want to pay 3 points for Tactician 3. I guess this guy's name is Ta. He's only 2 points, so he's amongst the cheaper of my... Actually, he is the cheapest general I have point-wise. 4 wounds, 8 command. What's he got? Leader 1 and Raider 1. Oh, he's a weaker version of Slugpa, with a little more Fate. Now, that's still helpful. We'll go ahead and add him in. So it looks like these guys are all about movement tricks, or what these heroes are for. Pretty neat. I like that idea. That differs than the Empires of Man, who were kind of about... Some had movement, some could repair, some had aggressive, so they could be in combat first. I like seeing the differences here. Let's look at our scouts. Oh, I like the look of this guy. Misisilk. There we go with that. He's Master Scout 2, so he's able to really detect things as long as he's got other reconnaissance units with him. He has Stealth 5, which is pretty nice. He can stealth himself. And Bounty Hunter 2 allows him to more easily capture enemy heroes. Let's look at the other guy, Shog, because I'd like to have one of these. I don't know if I want both. Oh, nice. I like that their heads are different, to indicate that they're a different type of hero altogether. See, the generals are all basically the same type of head. And the scouts are vastly different, look more squiddish. Leader 2, Stealth 6, Elusive 2. This hero decreases the number of attack die in a captured or killed sniper challenge by 2. Oh, so he makes it harder to be killed. I like this guy. I actually like both of these guys. So I think we'll add both of them in. We're up to 6 heroes, and those are all our combat heroes. We're up to 62 points, and I kind of don't want to go over 75 when it comes to a mixture of structures and heroes. Go over my agents. Klithsik. This guy is an intel mastermind. He adds 2 to the threshold for successful enemy espionage and increases action points by 2 each turn if the hero is located in the same hex as a friendly intel center. So he provides a good bonus if he's just sitting in an intel center. And he's a master strategist. He decreases the cost of tactic card rolls. So he can't stealth, which is actually really interesting for an agent, but he makes it tougher for enemies to slip by him and makes it easier to create tactic cards. I haven't made up my mind if I want tactic cards yet or not, so we're going to skip that. Illith. Stealth 6, Assassin 6, and Master Assassin. This hero can choose a specific hero for assassination. I like eliminating enemy heroes. It's amongst my more favorite pastimes. Go ahead and add him in. Migo. Stealth 6, Saboteur 6, Master Saboteur. This hero can choose a specific facility for sabotage. We're not going to add him in. This is going to be an army central themed deck, so we'll pass on adding him. That leaves me lots of points if I want to spend it all on my intellects. Let's look at these guys. Master Minister 3 adds 3 die to any technology or genetic card creation rolls and increases action points by 3 if in my HQ. Holy crap. And he gains 2 additional die if someone's trying to kill him off by a sniper attack. We're going to add the Syad Queen here. Zoltham, Chief of Staff, increases my hand by 3 and decreases the AP cost by creating armies and transferring units by 2. I'm going to pass on this guy. He is very good, though. I just don't know if I have the points for him, because I do want more geneticists and technologists. Logistic Experts 2 increases the supply range of all armies in the field by 2, and reduces the cost to draw cards by 2. Tempting. We'll come back to Ithak. Nakai. Master Scientist 1 and Geneticist 4. So that is great. He is fantastic at making genetic cards. I'm going to go ahead and add him to the deck. And actually, I am going to remove these war nests. And since I'm doing that, I'm going to add another research nest. Hatsong is a Master Scientist with Technologist 4, so we want him as well. Do I get a guy who can do both, I wonder? Yaganla, Genetics 4, Technologist 4. That's perfect. I'm willing to take one more Intellect. Glaki is Genetics 4, Tactician 4, but I'm going to pass on that. And Sinothagus, Technician 4, Technologist 4. Nice. So they either excel in doing one thing, or they branch out into 2 separate types of things. Technologist, Technician, Scientist, Technician, Scientist, Technologist, etc., etc. So really nice. I'm happy with this. 11 heroes and 14 facilities. Let's look at some of my troops now. So normally you have Infantry, Advanced Infantry, Armor, Mecha, Battle Support, Special Ops Teams, and Air Power. So Infantry, Special Infantry, Armor. Is that right? Oh, okay, this is a little different, though, okay. Reconnaissance, battle support, and special ops. But it looks like we're lacking... power infantry. We don't have the equivalent of powered battle armor, which is what the humans have. We instead have Xenopods. This is a unique card, and I don't believe anyone else has something like this in their deck. It costs us no resources whatsoever to deploy it from our hand onto the board. But in order for it to do anything there, we have to spend 2 AP and 4 human resources. We will then get a random Xenogite or Xenomorph from it. They're also only 1 point, making them the cheapest card in the game. It's random what you'll get, so you're never quite sure, but you could get one of the most awesome Xenomorphs in the game, the Abomination, or you could get one of the worst Xeogites in the game, a Vassal or a Drudge. Now, that said, everything has a purpose and place, but I've never used a deck with Vassals with Xenopods, and I played quite a few games with them in the past. I'm unsure if I want to add these to the deck. We'll come back to the Xenolarvapods. So, we start with the Xenogites then. Human hosts mated to Xenopod larva. The host is both consumed and genetically transformed into a different creature. Vassals. They're very cheap at 1 point, making them, again, tying for the cheapest card in the game. They have no action points and only cost 1 human resource. They don't cost any points to move whatsoever, and they have wave attack, which gets them +1 attack for each other wave attack unit in the front rank. Very, very, very cheap infantry. The good news is, they're infantry! What does that mean? Well, that means that they add to extra damage when one of my Xenomorphs or Biomecha makes an attack. So they're a cheap way to get extra damage done if you want them. As you can see, you can have up to 15 of them in your deck. Holy crap. Drudges. For 1 material, we get a significantly better troop, though. Well, 1 material, 1 human resource, and 1 action point. He's 3 hit points as opposed to 2. He has +1 more attack and defense. And he also has Assault 6, which means he can make his attack go up to 9, but he's got only 1 defense in the next round. That said, this guy's pretty neat. I haven't really used a deck with them. Let's go ahead and add a few. The Assault 6 also means that they'll remain committed the next round. So these guys are good for... You use them to support your tanks in the field. Actually, 3/3 is... That's about what average normal infantry has got. 3/3. Yeah. Drones. Requires tech, but no action points to deploy them. They have rapid reaction, which is why they cost no action points to play, and they can be deployed directly into a army. At 4/3. You know what? I'm going to take these guys instead of the Drudges. It's the same point cost to put 8 of them in my deck, 16 points. But with 0 AP to play them, and being able to